Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Activities for People Living at Home with Dementia. My name is Martha Brown, and I am your volunteer with Dementia Friendly Fort Worth. We're proud to offer this series with funding from the Area Agency on Aging and the United Way of Tarrant County. These programs are recorded and are made available for viewing through a YouTube channel for future use. I am your host for today's activities, and our actual host is Gail Snyder, who is going to talk about and make cookies with Cookie Conversations. Take it away, Gail.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to my kitchen. Let me share the recipe that we are going to be working from today. All right, there we are. Everyone see that?
Oh, my goodness.
Yummy.
Okay, so I have missed you all the last 2 days, but I hear you had a lot of fun without me.
Well, we missed you too, but we did have a lot of fun without you.
And
Which
I
we
am
tried.
glad you tried.
We tried to have fun without you. Yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
All right. So for the custard cookies, you see our ingredients here on the list, and I'm going to stop the screen share, but I will email this out to everyone this evening after they're all finished.
May I ask you, Gail, if you ate one of the cookies without filling to see what it tasted like?
I did, and I was just about to share that.
Oh,
They
good.
A whole lot like the butter cookies or the sable cookies that we made earlier on, except they're a little bit drier and maybe a little more dense. So I have gone ahead and sifted the flour and the powdered sugar that we need for this recipe, and we're going to double the recipe. So everything I'm doing is going to be doubled from what the recipe was that I just showed you. So we're going to start. The recipe calls for 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. So to double the recipe, we're going to use 3 cups of flour. Put that in. And then we need 1/2 cup of custard powder, which can also be cornstarch. I don't think I have ever used cornstarch in a cookie recipe like this.
I wonder if that's part of what makes it more dense.
I don't know. Dusty, do you have any thoughts on that?
No, I don't think it would make it more dense, but it might.
What does cornstarch do in a cookie recipe? ?
All right, so 1/2 cup of cornstarch.
What does cornstarch
Is that doubled?
recipe?
I'm sorry,
Did you double that?
I'm getting ready to double that.
Oh,
I almost forgot.
Oh, we won't let you forget.
I have an answer for you, Gail.
All right, let's hear it.
Google, I said, what is cornstarch used for in cookies? Google says it's a terrific ingredient for thickening puddings, soups, and pie fillings, and is also used in many baked good recipes. When added to a cake, cookie, and shortbread, cornstarch helps create a crumbly and tender dessert-like texture.
And it is crumbly texture.
So we learned something today.
Yeah.
If you try to pick them up while they're hot, they just fall apart.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so now we need 1/2 cup plus 1 tablespoon of powdered sugar. I've already pre-sifted my powdered sugar.
Yep.
sifted enough for the to go in the filling. And then we need an additional tablespoon. All right.
Double that
Now we
too.
need, what's that, Janine?
You gonna double that too?
Are you gonna double that too?
Yes. It's a good thing I have you all helping me. That's
Never have too many cooks.
I'm looking at the recipe.
If you'd been smart at the beginning, you would take that recipe and written it out again
And doubled it.
and doubled it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I need 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, and I'm doubling that.
I'm sorry, Gail, not that you're not smart. I'm sorry.
Yeah, really.
I'm
What do you
sorry.
really
I
say, Steve?
apologize.
Steve, I
was
haven't done
thinking the
that.
same thing. I would have written it, I wouldn't have rewritten the recipe, but I would have written the new measurements to the side.
Well, that's what I meant is rewrite the measurements out.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now it says we need 1 cup of unsalted butter at room temperature and cut into 1-inch cubes. So we need 2 cups of butter.
Yep.
With,
That's a lot of butter.
that's a lot of butter.
I can hear my arteries hardening and I love it.
Yes. So that's 4 sticks of butter.
That
So
is a
now
lot of
I'm
butter.
going to take a knife and just cut this into cubes and put it into the, and I should have done this before because that's a lot of butter to cube.
I don't think I've ever cooked anything that called for 4 sticks of butter.
Remember, she's doubling.
No, but even 2 sticks
Have
of
you
butter.
ever? Okay. Well, these are going to be rich and dense.
No wonder she said they tasted like butter cookies.
It's because they are.
Well, the challenge is going to be mixing all of this powdered ingredient with this butter without throwing the powdered ingredients all over the kitchen.
Well, the butter, it seems like.
I think I should have softened the butter a little more. All right.
Oops. We don't want the paper.
You don't want the paper in it. All right. Now, the only other thing that goes in this is a teaspoon of vanilla. So it'll be 2 teaspoons of vanilla. But first, we are supposed to beat this butter into this flour and powdered sugar cornstarch mix until it starts to get crumbly.
Glad you got on an apron.
Oh, uh-oh.
It's not going to work. I'm going to have to go ahead and put the vanilla in because I'm making a big mess. Can you all see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I made a
That's
big
happened.
mess.
That's
Been
happened
there.
to a lot of cooks.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
A messy kitchen is good.
Okay, so I'm going ahead and adding my vanilla, even though I'm not supposed to give it a little bit of moisture. Oh, hold on. Maybe if I put this on, it'll help.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you have one of those fancy things. That's cool.
Yes, but I don't hardly ever use it because it seems to get in the way more than it helps. But maybe it'll help with this.
Oh,
And we are learning together.
It's just not going slow enough.
Forgive me for intruding, but if you pulled that out and cut it with 2 knives, cutting it crossways until it gets into the mealy stage, would that work?
It might. Let's try that. Actually, what I'm going to do
Save that dust.
I'm gonna use my pastry
Yeah.
cutter.
Oh,
That's
good.
that's an excellent idea.
Go, Gail.
It didn't do this as badly last night, but I was only making a single batch.
Yeah, you need a bigger mixer.
Need a bigger mixing bowl to do 2 of these. All right.
Go, Gail.
I had to mix it a good little bit to get it mixed together and start to get crumbly because it just doesn't have enough moisture in it.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's arm exercise day for you too.
Yes,
No having to go to the gym.
starting to get a little bit crumbly.
Okay.
Yep.
You can see that.
Bless you, honey.
I'm really grateful that you are brave enough to do this in front of all of us and for all of us. That's a major deal.
Well, it's a lot of fun for me. And the good thing is I get to try new things and people to help eat them so that I don't eat them all myself.
There you go. We're always happy to,
Hear that.
we're always happy to help you.
Because that's the problem with liking to bake.
Morning, Paulette. Morning, Bob.
Morning.
Good morning, Paulette.
Good morning.
Morning, Dale.
Bob, we missed you yesterday. I hope everything went okay.
Yeah, I let Paulette tell you about it.
Okay.
I went to the cancer doctor and they did a follow-up after 6 weeks of injecting essentially a chemical that would kill the cancer. And so the test showed yesterday that I didn't have any new cancer.
Oh, great.
Yay.
Good.
Wonderful.
Yeah, but I have to keep going back, so we'll see.
That's okay.
That's
So
okay.
far, so good.
That's wonderful, Bob.
That's
Thank
great
you for
news.
sharing.
Thank you all for your prayers.
You bet. We'll keep it up.
All right. So now I'm going to attempt the mixer again.
Go, Gail.
Put the shield back on just for a little extra protection.
There you go.
Better.
Ah, good.
I'll have to turn you all up so I can hear over the mixer.
Okay.
Gail, I haven't made cookies in forever, but I was encouraged by you. And I had some bananas yesterday morning that needed something done with them.
All right.
And I made banana peanut butter oatmeal chocolate chip cookies, yeah, vegan yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yes.
All
They're
right.
pretty dense too.
Hey. I'm hungry.
But if I hadn't been watching you make cookies, I probably wouldn't have done that.
So I tempted you
Yes, you did.
and encouraged you to try something new.
Something new and different. I'd never
I'm
done
just
that.
trying to figure out what you're up to.
What are you up to, John?
I don't know. I'm watching Janine.
You're both
All
on it.
right.
A blackout.
Now you can see
Oh, yeah.
the butter and the other ingredients have mixed together and we have a nice stiff dough.
Mhm.
So now, as soon as I get these in the oven, I'm going to have to stop and clean up the mess because
That's just what I said. I'm surprised she can handle that mess.
I can't stand it. Okay, so now
Well, see, there are good messes and bad messes, and this is a delicious, wonderful mess.
yes, it is, but I can't cook in a mess.
No.
When my kids were younger and I got home from work, if the sink was full of dishes, I couldn't start supper until I cleaned up the sink.
That's
Yep.
true.
Okay, so we want balls of dough about 1/4 of a teaspoon, which is not very much.
No, it's not.
Quarter of a
This
teaspoon.
is a quarter of a teaspoon.
Hold your finger up next to the spoon part. That's pretty small.
Wow.
Okay.
I used a little bit more than that yesterday when I did these because
I hope they spread out.
that would be really tiny. They don't
Mm.
spread out.
The good news is you don't have to worry about as many calories.
As long as you don't eat more.
Wow.
Can you all see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
like a mini
Tiny.
marshmallow.
That is too small.
Yes.
Oh,
We're going to make them just a little bit bigger. So I'm going to make them about like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That looks
Good.
perfect.
that looks good.
Otherwise, you'd have so much intensity, you couldn't get them all made. And this is when you need a bunch of us there with an assembly line like Lucy and Ethel in the chocolate
Yes.
factory.
So
Yeah, there you go.
everybody help me put your
Hopefully
hands
not like.
together and roll your hands like this to help me put these cookies into balls.
Okay.
And hopefully it would not be like Lucy and Ethel in the chocolate factory.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, before you start doing this, you should all wash your hands and then give it a couple of rolls between the palms of your hands. And the difficulty with these is they're not all going to be exactly the same size. And you know
If you use a perfume soap, will it infiltrate the cookies?
Oh, absolutely. That would not be good.
Oh,
We don't want our cookies to taste like perfumey soap. All right. It goes pretty fast. And the good thing is because these don't really spread a lot, you can get quite a few on the sheet. I have one of those little bitty melon baller,
Uh-huh.
and I was using that, but I've misplaced it. So,
And you're doing it just as well as a melon baller could do anyway.
well, thank you.
Well, a melon baller is for when you have a big glob of something
Right.
and you're trying to hollow it out.
So now what we have to do is take a fork to get that rib on the top of the cookies. It says to take a fork and dip it into flour and lightly press the top. Can you all see?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like one would do with a peanut butter cookie.
Yes, except you only do it one direction and not quite as much into the dough.
Okay.
And if you don't dip the fork every time,
It'll stick.
it sticks.
The voice of experience.
Yes.
Gee, I wonder how you got the experience.
I tried
Trying
last night and it didn't work without doing it every time.
to roll out pizza dough without the flour.
That reminds me of Dusty's discussion about how he applied for a job one day. Dusty, you remember telling us about, yup, he's a baker.
What did they have you make, Dusty?
You're on mute, Dusty. We'll get him unmuted and then he can tell us the story.
Okay.
It's a long story, but it was when I applied for a baking job. Baker manager asked me what I did. I said, I'm a baker. He said, I know, but what do you do? I said, I'm a baker. What he was getting at was, was a bitch hand, an oven hand, or a mixer. And I think he hired me just to find out if I was a baker or not. You know? And the first batch of dough we made, I grabbed a handful of flour and dusted the table with it like a baker does. And they said, "Yep, he's a baker."
Yep.
You dusted that table
I-
first.
I shortened the story down considerably.
Okay, so
Thank
in
you, Dusty.
pictures of this cookie, they put some different colored sprinkles. So I have this container of sprinkles that has several different colors.
Oh, fun.
Ooh,
So I've sprinkled different colors on them. I
You
forgot
can make plaid. You can do a plaid cookie.
a plaid cookie
Yeah, you take a little bit of sugar from each color and put it on.
and put it in the rose. That
Good
really
Lord.
sounds intense.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Let Paulette come over and get a toothpick and do that.
Yeah. Okay, so these are ready to pop into the oven.
That was fast, Gail.
The oven was already preheated to 350, and it says they have to bake for 15 to 20 minutes.
Wow.
It's like a long time.
Mhm.
Now we are going to transition to making, oh, I'm going to clean up this mess first.
That's really interesting that it would have such a long baking time for such a small product.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
So I
thought
guess,
too.
it's going to dry it out some more.
Right.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the thickness.
What is that?
The thicker it is, the longer it
No.
goes. The skinnier it is.
You
the
having
less-
some sweet in there?
Okay, so how much of this flour mix do y'all think I spread out over the counter?
Oh, probably a quarter cup.
Maybe 2 cookies worth.
Is there any cake left?
Yeah.
Can I have a cake?
Let's see.
John's not talking to us, is he?
I'm sorry. No, I'm not.
That's
I think
fine.
I didn't know if you were asking Gail for cake.
He was asking me for cake.
Okay. As long as we understand. And John, you're okay. Go, Gail. It does make a difference.
I think Dawn is going to be correct.
Wow.
Almost a quarter of a cup. Oh,
Oh, I think you need to measure it again.
Hey,
Oh,
Folks,
gotta-
I'm gonna have to go for today,
All right.
but I'll see you tomorrow.
See you later,
Bye,
Steve.
Steve.
All right,
All right,
bye-bye.
bye,
Take care of
Steve.
yourself.
yeah, you have to do it twice, like everything else.
Yeah.
Unlike sifting twice.
I'm thinking about doubling the recipe.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah,
too.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So I had to do a double spill. Is that
Yeah.
it?
That's it.
Sure.
All right. Now I've got to get a wet rag. But if I tried to wipe all that up with a wet rag first, I would just get a bunch of paste everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good. And that's a butcher block table counter, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I'm so glad you got to plan that yourself.
All right. The only thing I didn't get in it that I wanted is I wanted a piece of that like granite for rolling dough.
Yes.
Couldn't find exactly what we wanted at the price we wanted to pay, so we just
Uh-huh.
went this route. Okay, so now for the filling, I'm going to set the cookie mix aside. And I'll have to use my other bowl that you can't see in.
And all the time, those cookies are baking and baking.
That Okay, so for the cranberry puree, I've already done that ahead of time. I cooked the cranberries and they had a little bit of water, salt, zest from an orange, and I cooked that and I have that ready in the blender to puree.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, nice.
And I didn't have to double this because it says you're going to have extra. So I didn't double this. And you'll see what I mean when we move to our next step.
Okay.
I'm going to puree this.
Thank you.
What flavor is it, John?
It's caramel.
Ooh, nice.
And this doesn't want to puree very good because it's not real liquidy. I may have to add a little bit more water to it.
What kind of an instrument are you using there? An appliance?
This is a little chopper
Okay.
that can be used for nuts or onions or
Kind of like a bullet?
yes, a little bit like that.
Okay.
Bullet? What's a bullet?
There's a new tiny little appliance called a NutriBullet.
Ooh, sounds deadly.
It kind of is. It's very fast and very effective. It can make
Just a little bit of water to this so that this will mix this up.
I wonder if the plumpness of the cranberries makes any difference.
Say that again.
I wonder if the plumpness of the cranberries makes any difference.
Well, yes, it does. The problem is if this doesn't puree enough, it won't go through the piping bag.
Uh-huh.
Ah,
Okay, so what I'm going to do now, it calls for the filling, 1/4 cup of cranberry puree, 2 cups of confectioner sugar, a teaspoon of lemon juice, and a pinch of salt, plus 9 tablespoons of butter.
I think I'm understanding why they intended to make them so small.
kind of rich, huh, Janine?
I'm going to soften this butter just a little bit more and hope not to melt it.
I missed it. Were those fresh cranberries or frozen?
These were fresh. The blueberries that I used were frozen.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add the lemon juice so that I can get this to puree a little better.
Oh, smart.
And I think the choice of the cranberries is going to help cut the sweet of the powdered sugar in the filling.
Mm. This is a really brave choice of a cookie to make, Gail.
And I bet it makes a huge difference how ripe the cranberries are.
Yes.
Paulette, it was really nice to have Marcia with us yesterday.
Oh, yeah, it was. She's just great. If I ever have to spend another day all by myself, I'll try to get her to be my babysitter.
Did she enjoy our group?
Yes, she did. She did.
Good.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, I'm going to try to pulse this one more time.
We had a good time together.
Good.
felt like she was a good friend, not some caregiver. So there you go.
That's what they need to be, just a friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Woodstock was looking at the camera.
All right.
What is going on? Yeah, he is.
Now,
Don said a bird's eye view.
Yes.
you'll see
Yep.
Okay, yep.
They're not whole cranberries anymore.
they're not
No.
whole cranberries, but it's not completely liquefied. We only need 1/4 cup of this. And again, we're not doubling this because it's going to make more than we need.
What do you see?
All right.
Who
So
gets the
now,
leftovers?
what's that?
The cranberries that you didn't use, who gets those? What do you do?
Well, the recipe suggests that you can use that for some other recipe, so I might have to look for something.
Okay.
So
Quick, buy a turkey.
now we need 2 cups of powdered sugar. So I'm going to take that from the powdered sugar that I already sifted.
Don't do that.
And for the blueberry, it took more than 2 cups. But we're going to start with 2 cups.
Got double.
I know.
No, because I'm not doubling the frosting recipe
Oh, okay.
because it makes a lot. Okay, let me check on the cookies real quick. They've got about 4 minutes and they'll be at the 15. Okay. So now I'm going to add the 9 tablespoons of butter. And again, we have to cut that up into cubes. And I softened this butter a little bit more than I did the other.
Okay.
Good.
It would mix a little better. I just threw butter all over myself.
Uh-oh.
Hey,
You're having a rough day today, Gail.
hey, that's my kind of cooking. I always get covered in stuff when I cook. When I used to cook, let me say.
You used to cook?
Yeah.
Must have been when he was a small child.
Yes.
No, it was before I met Myra.
Oh,
You were a
well,
small
there you go.
child. Yeah.
John used to cook.
All right. So now I'm going to add the butter and the puree, cranberry puree, to the powdered sugar.
Man, this all sounds so
So
good.
we've already added the lemon juice, and we need just a pinch of salt. I always wondered what just a pinch of salt's really going to do.
You already used vanilla extract.
I know, but.
Okay, let's get our shield out again.
Good.
Taste.
Oh, that's right. This is today.
And let's see. It doesn't call for any vanilla that I see.
Since you
Myra
have
said a
lemon-
little bit of almond extract would be good.
It might at that.
Yeah.
Go Don.
No. Don't need no almonds.
Well, it's definitely bright red.
This would be a great Christmas cookie too.
Good, especially since it's made with cranberries, because that seems to be when everybody wants to make things with cranberries.
Yes.
That's a pretty color.
Yeah.
You see that?
So Gail, can I ask a question, please?
Certainly.
What are you doing with that other stick of butter there?
It's extra.
It's extra. Okay. Okay.
Extra.
And that would irritate her son.
Okay, I'm going to add another half a cup of powdered sugar because it looks a little too thin.
Wow.
And I had to do that last night too.
Hello, pretty bird.
Mhm.
Come here, baby.
Also makes it a little lighter, doesn't it?
It does make it just a little bit lighter. You're right. Now it's really pink. All right, there we are.
Okay.
That's pretty color.
That is.
And most of the pieces of the cranberry have broken up. There's a few, probably from the cranberries that weren't as ripe as the others.
Which means whoever gets those is gonna be a tart bite.
Oh, that's so pretty.
Oh,
Yes.
look at that. Yeah, that's nice.
So now what we have to do is get this into our piping bag and start to pipe it on the cookies. Sounds like the cookies are done.
Perfect timing.
Betty Crocker's busy today.
She is. I had no idea it was going to be quite this labor intensive.
Okay, so they are done
Oh, yeah.
and it smells like a butter cookie. But they're gonna need to cool because if I start to move them, they're just gonna break apart.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is transition across the kitchen and see what I did with the blueberries yesterday
Okay.
while these cool.
Nothing like a computer on a table.
All right. So here is the blueberry.
Okay.
Doesn't look blue at all. It's purple.
Purple, yeah.
And it says to use the #1 Wilton tip. I'm not sure that's what this is, but this one looked like it created the design that was on the cookies. So now I'm going to try to tilt the camera a little bit farther so you can see. I have some from the batch I made last night on the counter. And we're going to put icing or the filling on half of these. And I'm going to start in the center of the cookie. See if I can hold this where you can see it. I can't do this in midair.
We can see what you're doing. That looks great.
Yeah.
All right. It does work better if it's laying on the table.
You are such an artisan.
All right. So now we have the butter cookie with the filling.
Wow.
And we're going to put the lid on it. And now we have a mini yo-yo.
Yo-yo, yeah.
Wow.
Those look terrific, Gail.
They sure do. Oh my goodness. And with the magic
Wow.
of Zoom.
They're very pale colored and these don't have the sprinkles. But before we finish, we'll try to put the filling in some of the ones from today that have the sprinkles.
Cool. Gail, that's a lot of work.
All right. So let's, I wanted to show you how this bag works because I need to use this same tip and I'm going to have to rinse it out. So I'll be right back.
Okay.
She's going to need a nap when we're done.
No kidding.
After she cleans the kitchen, though,
Mhm.
because we know that'll happen next.
Of course. I like
I'm
Gail.
that way also, though.
Yes. I'm one of those people like Gail who has to at least clean off the counters before I go to sleep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can't.
It's very rare for me to leave a pile of dishes in the sink and go to bed. I just can't hardly do it.
No, I can't.
Myers like exactly like that.
Mhm.
I wish I was more like y'all.
Gail, do you
Maybe
use,
we'll rub off on you.
do you use reusable bags or do you have disposable ones?
I have reusable ones.
Okay.
Okay, so we're moving back across the kitchen.
Traveling music.
All right. Those still need to cool a few more minutes, but while that's happening, we're going to prepare our frosting bag. So I have a frosting bag and I've already cut the end out and put the insert inside. Gonna add the tip and the cap to hold it on.
It brings back my memories of cake decorating.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do the kids' birthday cakes and
Then I'm gonna use a glass to help hold this upright while I fill it.
Uh-huh.
That's a smart tip.
We've done this 1,000 times and could tell me if I'm doing it wrong.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
All right. So now if I wanted to make this frosting red like it was at first, I could add a little more puree to it. All right.
So in the end, it did turn out to be wet enough and small enough.
Yes. It was just that the little chopper didn't want to puree the berries because the mixture was too thick.
Ah.
All right, so now we have our frosting going into the bag.
Mm-hmm.
When is your daughter's baby due, Gail?
March the 9th.
Oh my. So this baby shower is none too early.
No. We almost had to change the date, and the next date we could do it was going to be the 27th, and she was like, no, I think that's too late. All right, so now
What do you mean you were going to change the date? It's going to come when it comes, right?
No, the shower.
Right.
Oh, the shower. Oh, I'm sorry.
The date for the shower. All right, so now I'm going to scoop things away, and we're going to see if these are cool enough to add the filling.
This looks like the fun part.
All right.
does anyone know why they call it a shower? I always thought of rain and I think of a baby shower.
I think probably it comes from showering with gifts.
That's possible. Very possible.
Yeah, I think that's probably it.
All right. So now,
Rained
let's
present.
see. Can you all see
Yes,
that?
we can.
Yes.
Yes, perfect.
Okay. So now I'm going to turn these over, and they're pretty close in size. Let me show you what the back looks like. They're just a light
Ah.
Light brown.
brown.
Oh, that's right. So you turn them over and put the filling on the flat side, right?
Right.
Yes. So now we're going to add the filling.
My brain hadn't gone there yet.
Now, I've learned something. I'm going to use that glass trick.
My brain hasn't arrived
Wow.
yet.
I'm impressed that I had a baking tip that you didn't already know, Dusty.
Isn't that something?
All right.
Those are pretty.
Those are pretty, yes.
And even though they're small cookies, there's still room for you to be creative with the filling.
Yes. But once I put the lids on them, you won't really see that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty.
Now I put the lid on it,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a yo-yo.
Yay.
It
The-
even
the
looks
side-
like string.
Yeah, the sides of the piping look like it's string on there.
Oh, it does.
You also use that tip for your deviled eggs.
Yes, I've done that a few times.
Ooh.
That's the first thing I want to cook in my Instapot.
Deviled
That's a great
eggs.
job. And they peel.
Did I tell you I got an Instapot for my birthday?
No.
Congratulations. I love mine.
And
I'm
what
like,
I haven't taken it out of the box yet.
oh, do right away, right away. I love hummus, and I've started making chickpeas from scratch, and you don't have to soak them overnight. You just throw them in with water and cook them.
Really?
Oh, it's wonderful.
I love those
all
things.
right.
All right. Ooh, yummy.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Oh, those are beautiful, Gail.
Yes, they are.
Encore,
Very-
encore, encore. We demand an encore.
Very nice, very nice.
All right. Now the trick will be is if I can get these into the bags
Mm-hmm.
without all the frosting sticking to the inside of the bag.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I probably am going to try to bake them off and let the frosting dry just a little bit before I put them in the bags, because I put the filling in some of the blueberry ones last night,
Mm-hmm.
and those I could put in the bag and the frosting didn't come off on the inside.
Okay, that's good.
Wow.
We just cut the bag open and let the frosting off.
Ah,
I would do that.
Yes, there
Me
you go.
too.
Not a calorie wasted.
There we have our finished blueberry and cranberry filled yo-yo cookies.
Wow.
Yay.
Thank
Yay.
you so much, Gail. We have learned a lot from you today.
Thank you.
And for tomorrow,
Oh.
we have Jonathan Sanson, jazz, piano, and vocals with the Texas Winds.
Ah, cool.
That'll be great.
Won't that be wonderful? I need a little jazz after these yo-yos that we're going to get in the mail. And it's
We've
always,
listened to him before, haven't we?
Yes, he has been with us before.
that's exciting. I hope you can all share with us.
I sure hope so too.
Let me
that's
look
right.
back at my documents and I will tell you when he was with us last. Because I have a record of that.
She's so good with documentation.
He was with us August the 14th, and he was with us October the 30th,
That's probably what it was.
Day before my birthday.
and he was with us, and he'll be with us tomorrow.
Okay.
Yay.
Excellent.
So this is his third visit with us.
3 is a charm.
Yay.
All right.
Well, you sure do make it a wonderful day, Gail, and I look forward
Yes.
to receiving some of those in the mail.
All right. Did everybody finish off their lemon sesame cookies?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
You liked them, John?
Yes,
Oh,
I
yeah,
did.
I did.
Dusty, did you get yours?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Okay.
And quickly this time.
Okay, good. Well, it helps if I get the right address on there.
Oh, there's always a catch.
I really appreciated the dry cooking of the sesame seeds. I could taste that in the cooking, and it was just perfect.
Mhm.
Such a great job you did. We appreciate you, Gail.
Well, thank you so much.
We more than appreciate
John
you.
loves them.
Bye, Nancy.
Bye, Nancy.
See you
Bye.
tomorrow.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you, Gail.
Bye-bye.